Hey guys, welcome. Another day. Great to have you back. Today I actually want to talk a little bit more about what I started talking about yesterday. So yesterday, the whole idea was, that we need a different relationship with death, and that maybe if we really do what we are enjoy doing, we wouldn't be so afraid of dying. That reminded me on a friend of mine, Dwayne Michaels. He used to be a really famous photographer in New York, and I think we met in the gym one day. He combined images to stories, and he combined also images with writing. And he always told me, he said, Carson, look, the way I see success is you do what you love when you find somebody who pays for it. And I thought that was really interesting, because he always was able to do that. He did commercial work to support his more artistic work. But at the end of the last century, what I can't believe is now 20, or was now 20 years ago, he was rated the most underrated. Rated the most underrated. He was rated the most underrated photographer of the 20th century. And I don't know if this is something to be proud of, but still pretty cool, I guess. When I did visit him, he definitely had like letters of Irving Penn and Mr. Richard Avedon. If you are into photography, you probably know these names. Used to be really famous photographers, and they both sent him little notes how much they liked his work. Anyway, I just want to say, if you find what you love to do, and I really very much can recommend the writings of Joseph Campbell. So Joseph Campbell studied mythology, and he had a really interesting life, and taught at Sarah Lawrence's school for women upstate New York, a really famous school, and ultimately he gave these talks on Channel 13. What's the American Arte, like public television station, and sponsored by the people who watch it. And it's called The Power of Myth. So you can find this on YouTube as well. And it's just mind-blowing because he kind of brings the whole thing, life and mythology, together, and how these two things interrelate. And he said, if you find your bliss, doors will open where there were no doors before. And to me that was always really interesting. So that means, if we, especially now, when we're in the place where our old lives might not work the same they worked before, and we have to maybe find a different way. That if you really find your bliss, if you find what really excites you, that there will be doors where there wasn't even a door before that you can go through, and then do what you want to do. He was really an amazing human being. Also, I mean, really, if you have a moment, just check out those interviews. And the interesting thing is, he died because he died before the interviews were shown on television. Then he really became famous, but by then he was already dead. So that's really important, I think. Now that we have to make some changes, why not change to something that we love to do, and something we're inspired to do, and something that uplifts us, instead of just muddling around, The interesting thing is, like difficult times, like the times we go through at the moment, are also, I mean, difficulty always has to do with change. It's the same in yoga, an uncomfortable pose. That's why yoga also really well relates to life, because first of all, if the pose is not that comfortable, that's not really negative because you grow. That means your body has to change to get into the pose. And then also you learn that it never stays the same. So eventually you'll get out of the pose and it's not uncomfortable anymore. And that's really similar in life. So COVID will not last forever. I hope not. And it's uncomfortable, but it's also a great opportunity to change. So discomfort always initiates change because we don't have any other opportunity. It's always easy, not to get into the difficult pose, but you grow through it. So, and that's another thing I want to talk about in another vlog post, because nowadays nobody wants to be uncomfortable. It always has to be comfortable. And but what does happen when you're comfortable? Nothing. So it's nice to be comfortable, but you don't grow, you don't change, you don't create, because creation is also birth. It's always uncomfortable. I mean, I spent my time in the arts, and doing a show is horrible. My God, so much pain. Oh God, I thought I feel I almost died. I did this show about the Second World War. It's so much work, my God. But then you do it, and then you're like, wow, pretty amazing what I just did. I don't know how I did it because it was so much, but somehow I did it. So follow your bliss. That's all I can say. If we follow our bliss, we're not angry. We are not frustrated. We are happy. I mean, what else do you want to do than what you just want to do anyway? Lately, I've been watching quite a few interviews by Billie Eilish. She is, you guys probably know her. She's like a musician. She just turned 18, I think. I think it's really cool. She does her music with her brother, and they still live in the same house where they grew up. And she just won 4 Grammys. That's quite impressive. And what the cool thing is, I think, is that the parents homeschooled the kids. And she gave this interview, and then, she was talking about school, and she said, look, I never went to school. I don't know how it is. But why would I learn something that I don't want to learn? Doesn't make sense to me. I'm not interested. So ultimately, she was interested in music. Now she's super successful. And the same question could be, why do something that you don't love doing? Obviously, our mind tells us, yeah, but I have to. I have to do this job to... And that's actually something that reminds me on the Art Students League, because many years ago, I went to the Art Students League in New York to learn figure drawing. And there were these other artists. And actually, we had to read The Power of Myth by Joseph Campbell that I just talked about. And then our teacher said something about surviving as an artist. And then one of the students said, I don't want to survive. I want either have a good life or a good death. I thought it was really impressive because, who wants to survive? Surviving is really boring. That's not living. That's just scraping by. So, and I'm not saying it's easy, but if you find something that you really enjoy doing, whatever it might be, that can be the smallest thing, and then work with that, because you don't know where it leads you to. You don't know what doors open where there were no doors before. And you don't know how you develop within that. So that's the vlog for today. Do what you love. Follow your bliss. Open those doors where there were no doors before. Thank you so much. See you guys tomorrow.